Hi everybody, I'm Jeff, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to properly trim your Teres major, one of my favorite cuts of meat. This came from Justin, of course, and just look at that gorgeous marbling. These things are so tender but hold together so well. Now the issue is though that they still have a whole bunch of silver skin on them, even after the butcher gets to it. But remember, the more that this is butchered, the more that you're going to pay for it. So one of the ways that they keep their cost down is by having the butcher just do a really quick trim on it and then sending it off to us in the group. So you'll kind of notice that the key areas of where this silver skin is there's this pretty good fat cap right here, but it's really just not worth it. I mean, I love fat a lot, just as much as probably anybody else, but it's just not worth keeping it because the silver skin underneath after you cook it is just going to make it really tough. And then they did a really good job of getting underneath here, but there's still just a little bit to clean up here and here. So let's start trimming. All right, so first step is you need to actually get underneath the silver skin. So we'll start with a really obvious area right here where you can see the silver skin. What I like to do is I like to take just a small part, come up underneath, and then that way it gives you something to grip. And then we just kind of let the knife do the work. You keep pulling it up and just gently going, rubbing against the actual silver skin here. And the meat is so tender that the knife is just gonna gently slice through. And you wanna use a knife that's not super sharp because you don't want it to actually cut through the silver skin because then it's just gonna make your life harder. And then you see the nice beautiful meat underneath. And also another thing is if you really enjoy making stocks or making your own soups, save all of this stuff. Even though silver skin isn't that great to eat, there's still a decent amount of meat attached to it by the time you trim it off. And what that's going to do is you use that in a stock or a soup, and after you strain it, you have something really delicious. So this actually comes from the shoulder. It's also better known as the shoulder tender, and it's a pretty well kept secret both in the restaurant and the butcher industry because you only get one of these per cow. So here, like I said, there's some good fat cap. It's probably pretty delicious, but if you look underneath, there's plenty of silver skin, and that's just gonna make it really tough to eat. So I'm gonna actually go right on the tip over here. And thank you to my wife. She is a very busy person and is taking the time and patience out of her day to record this for me anyway. Thank you, Emily. What was that, Emily? She said Justin probably owes her a little something for recording this video for me. So, you know, I'll leave that to him on what to get. So again, you're just gonna grab it at the end, lift it, and just kind of let your blade just run against the silver skin. Now, not all silver skin is bad. Some of it, once you get to the point where it's really coming off and they're really easy to cut through with a gently dull knife, you can probably stop. That silver skin will cook well enough and break down well enough, even in a higher heat application, that you probably don't need to worry about actually trimming it off. And there, after that, you're left with nice, beautiful meat underneath. And then, so this is kind of that area that I'm talking about. Some of this silver skin, really actually not that bad. We're gonna go ahead and trim some of that off anyway, just to double check and make sure that, you know, it's not that really bad silver skin that we don't want. Because again, the more that's on there, the tougher it's going to be. All right, and after only a few minutes, you have saved yourself some dollars by getting a only mildly trimmed cut, and you have a beautiful cut of meat.